Interstellar, 2014 science fiction film directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, Ellen Burstyn, John Lithgow, Timothée Chalamet, before he was really widely known, Michael Caine, Casey Affleck, and Matt Damon. Cinematography by Hoyte van Hoytema and music by Hans Zimmer. Won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects and was also nominated for Best Sound Editing, Sound Mixing, Production Design and Original Score, which, by the way, I had to go back and check who Hans Zimmer lost to that year, and it was Grand Budapest Hotel, which I think is a bit of a travesty because I remember nothing from that score despite loving the film, whereas the Interstellar music is absolutely iconic. Anyway, the story takes place in the near future where society is slowly collapsing. Crops are failing, technology doesn't seem to be progressing anymore, people are going hungry due to food shortages. Cooper is a former NASA pilot turned farmer, very bitter with his unrealized potential and what is going on in the world. One day he and his daughter Murphy begin investigating a strange gravitational anomaly that seems to be occurring in her room, that leads them to discover the hidden NASA base where Cooper is asked to join up as a pilot on a mission which is supposed to go through a mysterious wormhole to another galaxy and locate a different planet suitable for human colonization. So I have to admit something here. I've never seen this film in theaters until now. I distinctly remember it coming out and me skipping it rather deliberately, although what my reasoning was at the time, I couldn't tell you. I always loved sci-fi. I always loved Christopher Nolan. I just don't know why I didn't go see it. And obviously, having later seen the film at home multiple times, I've always regretted that decision ever since. And now I finally had a chance to rectify that mistake and see the movie on the big screen. Sadly not IMAX, but still it was a blast. I'll start with two things that stood out to me most in contrast to the home viewings. One, the imagery is vastly more impactful on the large screen, especially all the space sequences, the passing of Jupiter, the wormhole travel, the Gargantua scene, docking, plus the water planet. Just overwhelming, in a good sense, of course. Superb cinematography that puts you right in there and sort of lets you admire this world created for the film. Incredible to look at. And the second thing that stood out was the sound. How much the music is an integral part of the story and helps drive the narrative forward and the emotion of the scenes, but also the silences in key scenes. Again, docking comes to mind as the most obvious example. There are moments when the very effective sound is the lack of sound, no sound at all. And in a packed movie theater, those sudden silences also made a huge impression on me. Otherwise, I still maintain that this is an excellent film all around. The story is well written and executed, and probably the peak for Christopher Nolan to this day when it comes to merging the high concept, larger than life stakes with a very personal, emotional, character-driven journey. The father-daughter relationship is impeccable and brought me to tears 3 different times during this viewing. Performances are great, in particular McConaughey, for whom this might be the best role ever. He fits it like a glove all the way through. I like the production design, and again, the big screen really helped me notice how worn out and used and dirty most of the things look in the film. Talking about spaceships and suits and equipment, a lot of modern sci-fi doesn't get this aspect right and insists on clinical, pedantic cleanliness, which makes it harder to get into those worlds and believe these are real things used by real people. I will, of course, defend the Anne Hathaway speech about love. I think this is one of the stupidest criticisms of a mainstream movie and one of the most misunderstood speeches on the internet, where a lot of viewers complain repeatedly about how saying love is this magical force breaks the immersion of an otherwise grounded and realistic film. Well, she doesn't mean that in a literal sense, you bumbling idiot. It's about love being an indirect force by motivating people who love to go and do things. And not only is that basically the entire thesis of the film with Cooper and Murph, but it is also explicitly explained to the viewer in the Tesseract sequence, and yet some fools still find a way to miss that. I will say though that the other complaints about Cooper's first name seemingly being Cooper and last name, his last name being Cooper, and then his grandson's first name being Cooper and last name apparently also being Cooper are completely justified. That is an unforgivable oversight in terms of the writing and just a needlessly stupid thing to include. Otherwise, yeah, not much else to say. I think it's one of Nolan's best and a terrific movie both in the storytelling sense and as a technical achievement, even going so far as to creating the first ever realistic 3D simulation of a black hole, which nobody before had money to do properly until, of course, Nolan came along and wanted that for his big Hollywood movie. I love it. I've seen it multiple times, probably will see it again, and if, like me, you haven't experienced it on the big screen, do so when you get the chance.